Hello, we are here for one more lesson of this SprutCAM training course in video. And today we are going to talk about hole machining, which starts a new chapter of these videos. We will spend almost until the end of this course, these next videos, talking about and explaining the options we have for creating toolpaths and going through the major parameters and the most important stuff you can find inside each type of toolpath. The first one today, it is focused in hole machining to show you those concepts. I've used the same part, very simple part, we had in the previous video, and I think it is enough because in the end we are showing topics related with holes, and we have here 3 holes. So regarding hole machining, we need to have a part, or we should have a part, but one of the characteristics that we have inside this topic dedicated to 2D, 2.5D machining is the concept that we don't need to have a model, we don't need to have a solid. Today, to be a little more easy to explain and to see what we are doing, we will use this concept of having a solid, but it's no need. So the first thing we want now is to create a toolpath, and I go to roughing. Inside roughing we have hole machining, and we create a new operation. Inside the operation, we click twice, we open the parameters, and we can choose everything related with the toolpath we want to create. The first, it is to choose a proper tool. So we have different types of tools. This is basic stuff, so I will choose a drill with all the parameters that we need to have, length, the position on the machine, etc. So a very simple one, 6 mil, and basically it is done. Then we can have feeds, speeds, you know this already. But the specific part for these parameters is this strategy. And under strategy, we have a lot of different cycle types. We can choose among all of these: simple drilling, drilling with dwell, chip removing, chip breaking, tapping, and going on. Okay, this is more or less the same stuff. SprutCAM is very graphical, so in the end, the graphics also help to understand what we are doing. So simple drill, we can set the MC code format in candidate cycle or longhand. We can use the coordinate systems of the holes, and then we have this idea of return distance, safe distance. We can have a couple of values. We can create machining order optimal, and it will look for it's an algorithm that SprutCAM has to create a toolpath that travels the least possible by list or ground holes with the same plan. Okay, let us keep this one. Safe motions, we have via safe level or always or manually. I would recommend this via safe level. And the safe level, we can define where it is. Okay, this is basic stuff. For example, going to another one, drilling with well. When we are talking about dwell, the dwell, we have a bottom dwell, which we can turn on and saying by revolutions or by seconds. Dwell is a period of time which the tool remains in the same place. It can be a top dwell or bottom dwell. In this particular cycle, we have available only the bottom dwell. Chip removing, so it's kind of a pack drilling. We have top dwell, bottom dwell. We have the step as a percentage of the tool or in distance. Deceleration, deep progression, so we can activate a lot of stuff. For example, tapping. We have other things also: thread pitch, spindle position, socket position. So according to the different types of cycles, we get also different options. For example, opening this by spiral, we have a lot of parameters. So because we are creating a spiral, and we need to supply all the parameters for this spiral. Again, this is very graphical. This is most of them are basic stuff, so they are not difficult to work with. And I think in the end, if you want to test and create something, one or two tests, you will be able to understand everything that is under these parameters. Returning to the most easiest one and simple one, the simple drilling. So doing OK. And now I have my parameters completely set. I need to define what to mill, in this particular case, what to do the holes, or where to do the holes. So I can go to this job assignment, and because we are working with 2D toolpaths, I can define my center through geometry. I can create my centers also by coordinates. Okay, I can supply all of these parameters from each drilling point. I can do a pattern. Okay, and this is a matrix or an array, what you want to call it. So we can define columns, rows, distances, and so on. Or in this particular case where we have the solids, we only do the recognize, and the system will look into the geometry and will recognize this geometry here, which we can change. I will say, okay, everything it is fine. And after this done, simply run, and we have, as you can see, a simple drilling which will create this. We can simulate as to see. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. So very simple, very easy, and I think very nice, very safe for you to test also a couple of drilling cycles. So regarding hole machining, if you want to need, if you need some support, or to clarify something that it may be not so clearly explained in this video, let us know, and we will give you all the necessary support.